The NBA boycotts have raised the question of whether we will also see players in the NFL do the same. The Lions had already canceled a practice earlier this week following the shooting of Jacob Blake. And USA Today's Jared Bell said that this was a sign of evolution and protests within the NFL and that it better, quote, brace itself. Guys, just so you know, Washington, the Jets, and Colts have currently canceled practices today. So, Shannon, how will this boycott movement impact the NFL in your opinion?
Skip, I'm not really sure because the one thing that we know that other sports organizations have always been more unified than the NFL. Basketball, Skip, there's a reason why they have guaranteed contracts. There's a reason why they don't have franchise tags. There's a reason why after 4 years they're free agents. Not a fifth-year option, not two franchise tags and a possible transition tag. There's why. You remember baseball, Skip, in '94? They shut down the season.
Yep.
So we shut it down. So I think those organizations have always been more unified than the NFL, Skip. And so I don't see a scenario. I don't see the NFL players, Skip. Hell, they couldn't get together and come up with CBA. Because guess what they still got? The franchise tag.
Yeah.
Guess what they still don't have, Skip? Guaranteed contract.
And they fairly recently signed off on all.
On another 10 years.
Yep.
What labor organization you know signed 10-year deals? Not Skip, not 3 and an option. 10 years. The thing is I think with basketball players, Skip, I think because, and I get it, because they've been unified for so long, they have guaranteed contracts. Some of these guys, and some of the NFL players, Skip, if they don't play another game, they got $150, $200 million, so they're good. It's the lesser tier guys that feel the pinch, the sting of not playing an entire season. So, Skip, I think the thing is if NBA boycott the playoffs and the remainder of the season and the NFL goes out there and play, does it undermine what the NBA has done? It's really hard to say, Skip, because I've really never thought the NFL would go that far because only a handful was willing to show support for Colin Kaepernick. And even some within his own ranks talk negative about him.
Yep.
And some of those same ones that talk negative about him heap praise upon him now. So for me, Skip, it's really hard to say the direction in which the NFL, but I tell you what they could have had they not signed that CBA and threatened to hold out this season, they could have gotten a lot more, and they could have gotten some of these owners that are powerful. Because they're like, guess what, Jerry? You don't want us to take a knee? We're not going to, guess what? We won't take a knee, but we won't even take a seat in the building.
Yep.
That would have been a message.
It would have been. Help me out. What happened in 1987 to the National Football League?
They struck.
They struck.
Yep.
And what did the owners do?
Watch
this.
We got what they call them scabs.
They didn't call them scabs. That's what people outside the NFL call them.
But they call them replacement
players.
Replacements.
Yes.
And guess what, Skip? Fans still showed up.
They did.
And networks still put it on TV.
I still went to the press box every Sunday, and I covered the scabs. They didn't want them called scabs, but I covered the replacement players.
Right.
And it just obviously wasn't the same, but people still watch because they love their NFL.
Right.
And finally, we got to a Monday night game fairly late in the season at Dallas. Washington at Dallas, arch rivalry. And a bunch of star Cowboy real players walked the picket line. And they said, we're playing.
Yeah.
And Joe Gibbs' team had all replacement players, and they kicked the golden tails of those who walked the picket line.
They did.
Okay, just for the record. So that's obviously always a possibility if you want to go that far. Let me get back to the man who wrote this piece for USA Today that Jenny talked about as she led us into this topic. His name is Jarrett Bell. We've had him on the show a number of times. Jarrett Bell has been a long-time prominent African-American voice in this country for USA Today as the pro football columnist. I have known Jarrett Bell since we were first teammates in 1982 at the Dallas Times-Herald, and trust me, he's a good man.
He is.
He's level-headed, he's even-keel, He will take a stand, and a passionate stand, but he will look before he leaps. He will do his homework, and he will speak from solid ground. there's no knee-jerk in Jarrett Bell. So very early this morning, on my treadmill, I'm reading this piece that he wrote, because I read everything Jarrett writes, and it startled me because it is spilling with passion, almost raw passion, maybe the rawest I've ever felt in a piece written by Jarrett Bell, with a line that said, the league, as in the NFL, had better brace itself for protests that could go far beyond kneeling, which led me to, obviously, boycotts. Well, obviously, if they were playing the per usual preseason games right now, I'm pretty sure this weekend's games would be boycotted, right?
Yep.
I just believe they would be, and maybe next week's too. I don't know that for sure, but that's my gut on what's happening in our country right now in a very good way. But it doesn't start the National Football League because of, obviously, the COVID concerns
2 weeks from today.
until September 10th, Thursday night, September 10th, and we got Texans at Chiefs,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay, and then it's Sunday's a full slate, ending with Sunday night, Cowboys at Rams, followed into a Monday night slate of 2 games, obviously, and here we go.
Yep.
Are those games at this moment in any jeopardy? I'm going to assume that they are. I'm assuming there are going to be some discussions because I've seen this league be more unified in its leadership thinking than ever before. I got it about the CBA. I got it. But we did see Patrick Mahomes lead a video of players, right?
Yep. To vote.
To vote and sort of calling out Commissioner Goodell to, it's time to wake up and do something here. And I loved all that. And I love everything the commissioner of this league has done because he's been open-hearted about this and said all along, I was wrong about Colin Kaepernick, and now my mind is open.
Skip, and although people criticize Commissioner Goodell with everything that goes wrong with the league, and I think some of it has to do with his handling of the disciplinary cases, and it seems like it's uneven. But you and I both know, you having covered the game for 40 years, me having played, Roger Goodell works at the behest of the owners. Everything that comes, Roger makes $40, $50 million a year, flies on the private jet, so he gets to take the arrows that the owners are shielded from. The Jerry Jones gets no blowback. The Daniel Snyders, the Maras, the Rooneys, they get no blowback. That's what his big chest for. That's why he lifts the weights and still run, because he gets that blowback, Skip. He gets up there and gets booed. When the owners come up there, they get applauded. Little do they, if the fans actually realize he's only doing what they ask him to do. He's only doing what they told him to do, Skip. So the question is, because Skip, it comes down to this. I believe some of the owners are open-minded. Some of them are closed, but we know there's one owner that mind is closed. His mind is made up. I want to see what the Dallas Cowboys players, what is their answer? What is their response?
It is America's team. It is the most valuable team in all the world.
Yes.
All the world.
The world.
I'm with you. It'll be very interesting, led by Dak Prescott, to see how they respond now. And again, look, I'll disqualify myself here. I love my NFL just like I love my NBA. In my heart of hearts, do I want to see them play every game? You better believe I do. But I also believe in this cause. And if you can convince me that boycotting NFL games would somehow help continue to eradicate racism, especially in the ranks of the police forces, I'd be all for it. I hope it doesn't come to that. My gut is it won't come to that, but your gut is more leaning the other way right now.
No. Skip, I think they understand that, Skip. But the players, as visible as LeBron is, he does not have the contact of a Mark Cuban. He does not have the contact of a Jenny Buss with these local and state legislators that can help get laws enacted that benefit the minority communities. That's what they're asking. That's what the players are asking of these owners. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is a big name, is a face. So is Aaron Rodgers. So is Tom Brady and Aaron Donald. But they don't have the contacts of Jerry Jones, Skip, of Miss Ford. Miss Ford in Detroit can pick up the phone And every senator is going to take her call. That governor is going to take her call. That mayor is going to take her call. That AG will take her call.
True.
That's what these owners have that these players don't. Because if a player calls it that, well, he's not in right now, but you let one of these billionaire owners call. Miss Ford is on the phone. Patch her through.
Yep.
Jerry Jones is on the phone.
Yep.
Patch him through. That's what the players want. That's what the NBA.
Maybe that could even go to the Oval Office.
Yes.
Patch him through.
Yes.
Right?
But we already know.
Okay.
This is,
well, whoever's in the Oval Office.
yeah. Look, we're going to turn out. We're going to vote. It's very clear that our vote is very important because, Skip, nobody tries to take anything from you that's not important. People ain't robbing the piggy bank. People, you know, they going where it's big. So if it's that important, they want to deny you that right, it must be very important.
Yep.
So we're going to turn out to vote. But I just want people to understand, if we put people in office and they don't do what they say, when it come time to vote their butt out, we're going to get them right on up out of there.
Nope, I got you. So I did neglect to say in our opening topic that, speaking of what you just spoke of, remember the Bucks stayed in their locker room after deciding to boycott that game yesterday.
Yes.
They stayed in there for 2.5 or 3 hours because that's what they were.